Yeah, Laurent.
Yo, yo, uh,
Damn, I didn't realize you were gonna come with this much energy.
of course, man. You guys know the motto. Nothing new here, right? Nothing new here. Even after the PSG, after, right? It's all smiles, man. It's all smiles. Yeah, right. We're not gonna change that. You gotta be positive, man. Right? You gotta be positive. You're first. You have a +3 goal difference.
Wait, are we talking about Chelsea?
No. We're talking about the Arsenal. We're
Oh no,
talking.
no, I'm asking about you.
No, again, man. For me, I'm good. I'm good. Right? Like I told you, um, it was a good day. It was a good day. The football that was played, not more so from us. Um, we had our spells here and there, but overall, man, it's always exciting to watch some good football. So, yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, bro. How you guys doing? Enough about me, man, because I can keep going. Um, I just want to know how you guys doing today.
We're here.
Okay. Okay, and how you guys feeling?
We're present.
Okay, yeah, I know. I can see, right? CJ, yep.
Present moment. I'm feeling hydrated.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little fatigued,
Mm,
and I'm feeling deja vu.
mm. Well, I'd say in this case, self-inflicted wounds, I think is the right term here, right? But hey man, like I said, you guys are still first. Technically, I think it's still in your hands as it stands, right? If we're
Yep.
being correct. So
I think
I'd
officially
say
though, it's also now in City's hands too. Though.
Yeah, because if they beat us,
It's three, and they win their game in hand. It's level, and then
yeah,
obviously we're both in
that's whoever.
control of the goal difference shootout, which at the moment favors them. I think after they just slapped up Chelsea, so they're eating up the goal difference too. So it's not looking good, bruv.
yeah, but again, right? If they beat you guys, right? You guys have a better record than them. I think you guys have one of the best defensive records um in the world right now in terms of club competition. So what are you guys really worried about?
Oh, come on, man, don't do that.
I mean,
Nah,
we're talking about best defense, and if you look at the goals against, City have four more goals against than us. We're on 24. They're on 28.
hmm yeah, and you guys have two of the best CBs in the game.
Yeah, but that you're proving my point. We have all of that, and they have four goal difference.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd say that you guys are still the defensive unit.
Hmm.
Um, it just comes down to the offense. That's the big thing, right? And I know at this point in time, the video with Rodri, his interview all those years back or whenever that was, where he talked about the mentality. You guys know which one I'm talking about?
Hmm.
I think it was a post game, right? So I feel like that's coming back to light
Hmm.
because he called you guys out. He called you guys out, right? And you saw how they played against us, right? One, two, even at two, they wanted more. Even at three, they wanted more. So yeah. I think if I'm you guys, I'd probably be worried about that more so, right? Because even then, in terms of even the goal difference, I think they can keep scoring in the next games. Um, so yeah, it comes down to you guys and your game versus them.
Well,
Where, yep.
before we get into it, welcome back, viewers, listeners. Um, episode 98. A little less energy than usual. Um, we still would appreciate you to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell. New podcast coming out twice a week. We got CJ's videos, pre-match and post-match reaction. Um, and for this pod, on the only feeling that I don't know if CJ agrees with me or not. The only feeling that I have or statement that I have is it's happening again. It is happening again. To get into it, frankly, Arsenal Bournemouth 2-1 loss at home. I know CJ and I were chatting about it off air. We were chatting about it before the game. We were chatting about it after the game. Um, we knew this was going to be a difficult match. Bournemouth's last loss was against Arsenal at the Vitality 3-2. Ever since then, they have been unbeaten. Multiple draws, a couple wins here and there. And now with the fact that Arsenal won their first leg against Sporting, European places are all the way at seventh place. And Bournemouth, that's sitting currently on 45 points. They're 2 points out of a potential European spot for next season. So they had a lot to play for. However, you would have thought the team at the top of the Premier League, the summit, knowing that they haven't done it for 20 plus years, would have more to play for. You would have thought these players that they've been playing together for the past 5, 6 years, $1 billion spent on this squad, a manager who's been here for 6 years, would have got more of a rise out of the players. The reason why the three of us are here is solely because of our love for one football and our respective clubs, right? We were sitting at the bar a year ago in January. We're like, hey, we talk about it all the time. We have a group chat. Let's just you know, put this out for people to listen, to have a therapy session, as CJ always says. And the sad part about all this therapy session is to know that you got the likes of Chelsea fans, Spurs fans, United fans coming for our Arsenal fans. It's refreshing to know that we're doing something right. And two, it is just sad how the bar is so low for these clubs that like to say we have so much clout and that we're sitting at X, Y, and Z table. We won a preseason trophy, right? Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. All that BS. You're in a relegation battle. You've only played 40 games. You might not even make top four or top five. And you're coming for us? Mm, shambles. I don't even know where to begin, CJ, with the match recap, like just trying to dissect it all. Um, I don't even think there was a single player on the field that showed that they wanted to win that game. Maybe Declan Rice, just maybe, but everybody else, you know,
I'm going to include Victor Gyökeres in that. I'll explain why when I start dissecting the game, but I'm actually going to include Victor Gyökeres as somebody that I feel sorry for yesterday, personally.
yeah. Um, and for me, like I said the other pod, um, and I don't know for viewers and listeners if you got a chance to listen to CJ's reaction video, I highly recommend it because there's a lot of good content in there. And the one thing that I was just chatting about with CJ off air, the reason why the other day that I said Arteta out, and I'm an Arteta truther, I've always been an Arteta truther. The reason why I said Arteta out is because of the poor management of the squad, and CJ touched on it um, in the post match reaction, and it's happening again, right? For the past few years, it's been players are being run to the ground, and CJ said it in his post match reaction video. Kevin De Bruyne had to sit the first half of the season. Year in and year out, Kevin De Bruyne was having his minutes managed, especially the last 2, 3 years when he was at City. Did he enjoy it? No. But he knew that there was a goal at the end of the season. He knew when the crunch time came, he would be playing. So he sacrificed minutes at the early parts of the season where you could get other players into the game. But for us, it's run everyone to the ground every 3 days and hope that nothing happens. You would have thought after the first title race, when we lost Saliba, you would have learned. You would have thought after the second title race, when we lost Saka and Odegaard in crucial times, he would have learned. The third time where we lost pretty much everybody, right, at different stretches, Odegaard, Saka, Gabriel, Havertz, like you thought he would have learned. And now we're doing it again. Fourth time in a row, we're doing it again. Yeah. That's all I have to say, CJ. I don't even, yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
I think we should between the three of us. I mean, let's talk about the game and like where it went wrong. Like specifically, if you analyze the actual game, like I'm curious to know from you guys. Before like I even like chime in, like Laurent, obviously you as an outsider, like you I'm curious to know, Arsenal fans can talk amongst themselves, but you like from the outside looking and watching that game, like what did you see? Where did it go wrong from what you watched and what you saw? Because I mean, again, like I'm sure even now, sometimes I can't even really put into words that kind of performance and like the lack of like at the very minimum determination and fight and hunger. You would think that the players know what's on the line, and it just looked like the complete like Bournemouth looked like the team that was top of the league yesterday, and we looked like the team that was scared and like basically fighting for our lives in the relegation zone. Like that's to me what it looked like. I was like shell shocked of the lack of like initiative and positive forward thinking approach play. You know, um, again, some of the stats that going around were the likes of Raya and our center backs had the most touches in the game. Like one of the most embarrassing stats to name a few others, right? That's just one of the glaring ones. That tells you the whole pattern of our game and how fearful we were and how scared we were when, our back line and including our goalkeeper are having the most touches in the game and completing the most passes. I think David Raya actually completed the most passes in the game, which is a
38.
crazy. So yeah, bringing it back to you, Laurent, like what did you like see from the outside looking in? Like were you shocked by Arsenal and what you saw from us or what you didn't see essentially?
I mean, in terms of what would be required at this stage, um, I could say I'm a bit shocked because again, it seems after every presser, yeah, man, we hear you, the fans.
Hmm.
Um, bring your lunches,
Hmm.
bring your breakfast, right? Saying all the, listen, I think he might be even better than Liam at this point in terms of saying what needs to be said. But again, it seems like nothing is done. And I've seen also some of the approaches he has taken at training. And I'm sure you guys have seen that as well, right?
Hmm.
Apparently there's one with the TikTok
Yeah, in the
reel or something
background.
in the background. Yeah, right. And then the pen exercise, these kind of things. Listen, it's all good, right? Be innovative in your approach, right? But at the end of the day, you have to figure out a way to rally your team, right? To be up for it psychologically and for them to reflect that hunger and style of play in their game. Um, and that's not what's happening, sadly enough. And like CJ pointed out, right, the stats reflect that. Like that stat, I think, is one of the big talking point I feel at this point for the club. Um, because for one, it's unacceptable, in my opinion, right? For that to be the case in a game where it's crucial, right? That you have to be on the front foot. So it's like, where do you guys go passing back to the keeper, right? Like whose idea to me, like it's whose idea is that? for that to be the default, right? And again, right, it comes down to the manager,
Yep.
uh, and he has to take responsibility for that, right? So it's sad because on one end you see, well, just a few days ago, what did it take for you guys to break the deadlock, right? Initiative. And it's funny enough because again, right, when I pointed it out to you guys that when Martinelli did that, what he didn't do was listen to the instruction given to him by Rice to pass it back, right? Because you have to take those chances, right? You have to risk something. And it seems like for whatever reason, Arteta just is not willing to risk in the crucial moments, right? You're playing it too conservative. And in a fight like this, right, or in a game like this, a team sense that, right? They sense that,
Hmm.
oh, well, okay, they're just gonna pass it back, right? They're not going to be willing to try to break us down with creativity, with force. And suddenly, right, you allow a team to put themselves into the game, right? To want to even try something, right? Because even in that game, I think after Gyökeres scored that penalty for a bit of a spell, I think you guys were back on the upper hand, or it was evening out a bit. But again, you're not taking any sort of capitalization, right? You're not trying to do anything, and they realize, holy shit, right? We can play them, right? And that's the thing, man. If you're first, right, you're the best team in Europe. They want to W in the media and whatnot. You have to use that. You have to leverage that. You have to play with that tenacity, with that dog in you, to get these teams to understand that that's why we're the best. And if you don't, suddenly you start looking like a sheep in wolf's clothing, as they say, right? And you get find out. So yeah, I think it's very worrying. And I will say this more so now because we're at a stage where for other teams it becomes survival, right? In these late stages. And I don't even think for Bournemouth a game like this was even survivor worthy for them. I don't even know how much to gain from these points, right? In comparison to other teams where I think you guys might face even a West Ham.
Hmm.
Yeah, we face West Ham for
Right.
the next few games before the end of the season. Obviously, we have Sporting, and if we win, we have another Champions League draw.
Hmm.
But in the Premier League alone, we face City away, Newcastle at home, Fulham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, and we finish the season with Palace away.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. No, man. And that to me, right? You like those teams. I'm telling you, man. At this point, they have absolutely nothing to lose. Zero to lose. Like they're gonna do whatever it takes, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, man, if you guys come out um being I don't know if it's complacency, like I don't even know what it is, man. Like to me, it's almost like you guys are nice guys. Like Arteta wants to be the nice guy in the league. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some memes where no banter, like these are memes I actually see where it's like they'll hand the guy a trophy, right? Or something, and then the guy with the representing Arsenal says, "Nah, I don't want it," because that's how you guys are playing,
Hmm.
right? You guys are playing like you guys don't even want to fucking win this shit. So, yeah, man, and I know Murdad is saying, well, the other teams are looking at us and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we're only in this position because you guys have put yourselves in this position. If you guys would have like, out the gate done what is required, yeah, sure, you get that hate, but there's you leave no room for banter from these other teams. But we're here now with a case on our hand where this could be one of the worst self-inflicted damage imposed on a team. And how many years has it been, right? And we might actually witness that. And what's even worse, like, listen, and this could be, I think, a hot take that I don't even know has been said on social media. So you guys might want to, open your ears up big for this one. But I honestly think that if you guys fuck this up, and even if you guys do win the Champions League, I feel like it's going to be such a stain on your legacy, in my opinion, that if you guys find a way to fuck up the Premier League and still come out ahead and become champions in Europe, like it won't even be the achievement that it needs to be because you guys have for somehow some way managed to give away a lead of that nature, right?
I
And lost
understand what
out.
you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, boy, you guys have to. It's now or never at this point. It is truly now or never, and there's no room for mistakes for you guys. There's no room for mistakes for City going forward. So,
City City's games, obviously they face us next weekend. They go away to Turf Moor to face Burnley. And then they face Everton at home away. Then they play Brentford at home, go away to Bournemouth, and then finish the season off with Villa at home.
mm,
So
They have tough games too, to be
they
fair.
have extremely tough games, but they also have the firepower. We we do have the firepower, but we're just not showing it.
And that's the difference. Like when City plays, you watch them, they look like a team that wants to win games, you know?
right,
Whereas we look like a team that hopes that the game is going to come to us.
right, right, and that's all coaching. That's all. That's
Yes.
all.
Uh,
That's the.
the one thing I will challenge you, Laurent, in saying that is that I was just telling CJ this off air. Um, the coaching gives you the directive to have a structure.
Mm,
You're in a. We're not talking about like we're not talking about some corporate um, role where yes, you have that structure and you have to work inside the box, and the flexibility that you have still remains in that box. You're playing a sport, right? Last year, Declan Rice said in the Real Madrid game when those free kicks happened, Nicolas Jover was telling him to cross it in, and he looked at Saka and he said, "I just have a feeling." And Saka said, "Okay, go for it." Right? Same thing what you just said about Martinelli taking that initiative because Rice said, "Pass it back," and
mm,
Martinelli did what? He turned around and he said, "I'm gonna go for it." Right? We have the structure in place. There's no problem with the structure. What I also think that there's a problem is that the players are scared to take that risk, right? Whether that comes from coaching or whether that's just the players trying not to upset the coach or whatever it is, that needs to change. If we're gonna do anything from now till the end of the season, that needs to change yesterday. That needs to change in December when we could have gone up like 18 points or something. There was a stretch where City was dropping points, and then was it January where we could have just won consecutive games? That Forest game, I think it would have made us 12 points or something, right?
mhm.
Like we've had so many opportunities, and it's frustrating because I feel like every time something happens, the players go into their shell. They'd rather play it safe. They'd rather go lateral. Yes, a part of it may be coaching, but I also think a part of the players need to take the onus on themselves. They're the ones on the pitch at the end of the day. You are on the pitch. And I think this Bournemouth game, similar to that Southampton game, I think the players that were on the pitch let themselves down. Let themselves down 1000% in my opinion.
No, that's a good segue actually, because I actually we spent a lot of time here talking about the manager and whatnot, and I think it's time to get into like a little bit of a player's focus because I want to know what you guys think, like just from the perspective of, again, these are grown men, right? They're not kids. So at the end of the day, managers have their instructions, and like you guys are saying, like you said, Murdad, right? Like sometimes, and we've all been there as players in any sport, where a coach will tell you one thing, but there's times on the field where you just decide, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. My gut instinct tells me to do, or I'm gonna go against the grain here. Declan Rice doing it with the free kicks last year, or Martinelli doing it last game in the Champions League, where Declan Rice may have said, go back, go back, go back, because that's what the manager may want us to do to keep it conservative. Martinelli just decides to say, screw it, I'm just gonna take a gamble here, right? Like so these with regards to this game, like the players that go out on the pitch, I mean, no coach should have to tell you guys in April, hey, you guys are in a title race. Like, go out and get the 3 points because of what's at stake here. Like you guys are, no one has to tell you that. No one has to hold your hand to coach you through that. Like you should want it bad enough as a player to sometimes just do the right thing on the pitch or show that little bit extra incentive on the pitch. And like, we watch football with our eyes. Our eyes don't lie to us. And when I say like City, when you watch City play, they look like they want to win games. It's just the confidence of certain players. And like, they go up 1-0 in that game today against Chelsea. And then after that, the game is done in 10, 15 minutes because they just blitz Chelsea after that, score the second, score the third. And all of a sudden a game that was 0-0 at halftime is now 3-0 in the span of 15 minutes. You think we would have done that? If we had scored somehow first at Stamford Bridge and gone up 1-0, we would have probably tried to sit back and see out the rest of that game 1-0. You know what I mean? That's the difference between us and them. When they smell blood, they really truly smell the blood and they just go for the kill and stamp on your neck, you know? Whereas us, like again, I'm watching us like we're playing Bournemouth at home, with all due respect to them, right? You can get away with, saying, okay, when you played City in the cup final, whilst the performance isn't excusable, you played City in a cup final, it's Man City, the quality they have, you might sit off a little bit, hope for a break, or whoever else Champions League away against Sporting Lisbon, similar performance, right? You sit off a bit, you treat it as a chess match. You don't try and throw the first jab early, but you sit off, you feel out the game. It's Europe, it's Champions League away in the quarterfinals. That's a professional performance in the first leg. But Bournemouth at home, this is why I'm worried now, guys, because Bournemouth at home we're showing a similar pattern, and this is just now become our game model, regardless of who we're playing. It doesn't matter if you're playing Barcelona or playing friggin' Burnley. Like, why are we still playing a sim? Like, is this how he thinks that we're gonna get over the line? You know what I mean? Like, we played Bournemouth as if they were Man City coming to our ground or prime Barcelona coming to our ground. Why did we sit off so much? Why is our keeper having the most touches in the game? Why are certain players making errors, the uncharacteristic errors? Switching off for the first goal between Madueke and Ben White. Switching off. Their left back goes down the line, crosses it in, and obviously, yes, they got a lucky deflection because Saliba got a block on it and went over to the back post to Krupi. But just simple things like Ben White switching off there with Madueke. Like, what is that down to? Is that down to a lack of communication? Is that down to a lack of game time? So you're not in game rhythm in the case of a Ben White, right? Do we give him that excuse and say, oh, well, you haven't been managed all season properly. You haven't played all season, to Murdoch's previous point, right? When you just come in out of the cold, Timber's played and been run into the ground 90% of the season. And oh, guess what? Timber's now injured because he's been run into the ground. So Ben White comes in out of the cold, and now it's taking him a while, as we've seen, to get up to match rhythm because this isn't the Ben White that we've seen from a few years ago.
No.
He looks way off the pace. Zubimendi, what the hell has happened to him? I said it in my post-match
Yep.
reaction. Bro, that guy, did you guys see a worrying thing in the middle of the game? There was a clip going around of players going to Zubimendi. I think it was right around the time that Gyökeres took the penalty. Players going to Zubimendi, and they looked like they were consoling him of something. You know what I mean? Like kind of putting their arm around him, patting him on the back. Like, and I don't know what exactly that was about, but I assume it's about the fact that he had a shocker of a first half, giving the ball away uncharacteristically, not being in positions where he should be, just like lethargic on the ball, taking his time on the ball. Like that looks like a player who's fatigued. He looks like a player who's mentally and physically spent, tired. It's his first year in the league, Zubimendi, and we're forgetting that it's not an easy transition to come from, La Liga, Real Sociedad, a mid-table team in Spain, to now playing for one of the giants of England, one of the giants of Europe, where the weight of expectation is on us so much so that he's now playing game in, game out. So he hasn't really gotten much of a mental rest or a physical rest, and he looks like half the player that he was in the first half of the season. Right now, he's just physically exhausted, and we have no proper real cover or rotation for him because you didn't trust Norgard. So that now looks like a bad signing because you didn't bring in a competent guy who can compete and give heavy minutes to help Zubimendi share the spread, right? The Thomas Partey and Jorginho combination that played in the sixth last season for us looks like now a downgrade when you look at Zubimendi and Norgard because
Yep.
Jorginho played way more coming off the bench last season. He was trusted way more. So Jorginho's replacement essentially is a Norgard who hasn't really been trusted at all in the Premier League. I think he's played something like 59 minutes or something like that in the Premier League, Norgard. And so obviously Arteta didn't trust him and doesn't trust him. So Zubimendi is being run into the ground. And now his performance levels are showing it. And that's a worrying sign for me. He looks shot to pieces now, Zubimendi, you know? And aside from the players who look like they're either low on confidence or running on empty, it's just other things like, the forward line behind Victor Gyökeres yesterday. Kai Havertz, Madueke, and Martinelli. Bro, what was that between the three of them? That was like it was an awful offensive performance from the three of them. They didn't even I don't even really recall them doing anything in the game. Obviously, Madueke did what Madueke usually does. Sometimes he'll get to the byline and run the ball out of play. Martinelli just non-existent. Again, you put a Premier League patch on his jersey and tell him that you're playing in the Premier League, and he all of a sudden forgets how to play. And Kai Havertz again just looked he was not involved at all. So a lot of these attacking players that we have, are we not playing to their strengths? You know what I mean? Because again, Raya's sitting on the ball for 2 minutes, or Saliba gets the ball, turns and plays it back to David Raya, who then plays it out wide to Ben White, who then plays it back to David. You know what I mean? Like the attacking players, are we not playing to their strengths, right? So is it are they all just poor players in attack? Because again, the three of them all had a bad game, and we saw them all get hooked early in the second half. The three of them came off at the same time in like the 50 something minute. Kai Havertz,
Mm-hmm.
Martinelli, and Madueke. He took off the three of them, which rightfully so, they're having a bad game at the time. But again, are they all just that bad players, or are they all just poor, or is it again, is the system not allowing the attacking players to flourish? And this is where I said I felt bad for Victor Gyökeres, because whilst we blame the manager, and whilst again the players obviously have accountability as well, Gyökeres, we're not playing to his strengths. I still believe that, and he was a guy who actually, to me, showed heart and showed determination. Yes, he scored his penalty and he took it really well. I think he has one of the best ball striking ability from set pieces in Europe, because the way that guy strikes the ball, he has very clean technique, right? The way he took his penalty and hits the celebration and quickly says, "Hey, all right, let's get back to the halfway line." Like he looked on it yesterday, and he ran the channel a few times. He linked up play when he could. And you can tell on his face he was visibly frustrated at times in the game. And for me, he looked like one of the few players who didn't look phased by the occasion. You know what I mean? That didn't look like nervous or scared or shook. Like he actually looked like he wanted to win. He wanted to go out there and get the assignment done, but he can't do it on his own, because again, we don't play a system that plays to the strengths of our attackers. So he's barely involved. He's barely getting any touches. And so he's one of the players that I genuinely felt bad for, because I thought he did try, but he just didn't get enough service.
That's the
So
story of the season, though.
it's what, sorry?
That's the story of the season. I
Yeah.
feel like he's been trying, but he's not getting any service whatsoever.
And I was just looking here, like for a team that, again, he's another one new to the league, right? New to England for the first season. You know what? In all competitions, he has 18 goals in all comps now, Gyökeres. And when you're playing in a team that plays haram ball and plays anti-attacking football, to have 18 goals in all comps in your first season up to this stage, because that's 18 goals and counting. That's actually pretty good. Again, for considering you play in a haram ball team, who doesn't look to get the best out of you. So I just can't help but think that, Trossard, Saka, are all these players who are out of form in attack, are they all just bad players, or are we just not playing to their strengths? These are the questions that I have. Surely like that's one too many attacking players that are just all of a sudden falling off a cliff. Trossard in the first half of the season, brilliant. I don't know what's happened to him since. He looks like a shadow of himself, Trossard. Saka, we know obviously what happened to him. His is one of the saddest stories I think around, because again, he was looking like on the trajectory of one of the best right wingers in the world, and now he's nowhere near those conversations now. People are getting on to him, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm just concerned overall about how we approach the game, but and not just that, if we're taking some heat off Arteta, it's like the players still have to go out and kind of show something. And maybe if it means going against the game model, you may have to do that just to do something different. Because at some point you got to sit there and say, okay, boys, this is not working. You know what I mean? Like what we're doing, how we're playing is not sustainable. Somebody's got to have those discussions, whether it's the captain on the day, whether it's the vice captain, the manager, the kit man, the tea lady. Somebody's gonna have conversations and say, "Oh, this lead is not, the way we're playing is not sustainable." And City's just slowly but surely cutting up that lead, and that's going from 9 points to six, six to three, and then who knows what happens from there, right? So,
It needs to be a closed door meeting with the players to come up with a game plan because you saw
but it might,
with
and sorry to cut you off, and it might have to be one of those conversations without the manager involved, like amongst the
yeah,
team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I think there's enough said from Arteta's point of view, and as much as I'm not trying to come to his defense, but I think at the end of the day, he's given them the structure over the past 6 years to go from a relegation battle to a top eight battle to a top four battle to for the past three now 4 years fighting for the title. He's built that structure. But at the end of the day, the players on the pitch need to take that structure and then during phases of the game take risks. They need to stand up, and I really hope that a Declan Rice, a Gabriel, a dare I say a Martin Odegaard calls a closed door meeting.
Wait, but who is the leader for you guys on that pitch during game time, during these times?
Rice and Gabriel Magalhaes.
And I don't know, like, are you guys noticing that they're looking to, inject
Yes.
more heart, more fight?
Well,
I'm
there was a phase in the game when Declan Rice towards I think it was like the 70th or 80th minute, he just took the ball from our half and he won us a corner. He literally just ran through the midfield, ran through their defense, and he took a shot and he got a corner.
No, but I'm saying in terms of their communication to the other players,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah, I think so. Those two specifically that Murda mentioned,
Yeah,
like Declan Rice and Gabriel, yeah,
yeah.
they're definitely
They're the most vocal on the pitch.
Hmm.
But in like I don't even know, man.
you can't hold the guy's hand, right? That's the thing. Like Declan Rice can only say so much, or Gabriel can only shout so much. I don't know, man. Some again, that's why the meeting has to be had with amongst the players, where these guys have to look at themselves and say, "Yo, we can make history here." Like, you know what I mean? We're going to be the first. This group of players will be the first in 22 years to, win a Premier League. For the club, for the fans. Or even in a Champions League case, we could be the first group of players to win Arsenal a Champions League. Like they still have to understand that to Laurent's point, if you're trying to be optimistic for a second, they still have to understand the task ahead of them and say, "Yo, we're still in this position, and it's literally on us whether we succeed or fail." You know, all the outside noise is the outside noise, but we can change the rhetoric amongst ourselves. We're still in a fantastic position. Now we face ourselves going to the Etihad, which now looks like Halloween 3, Jason Freddy versus Jason horror movie 4. You know what I mean? That looks like an absolute rated R movie now. I'm shook as hell. I ain't going nowhere else to watch that game. I'm watching that from behind my sofa, bro, with one eye
Well,
open.
City are 4-1 favorites to win that game.
Yeah, you guys that pre-match prediction, you guys can put me down for City from now, to be honest with you. Obviously, and I hope that doesn't happen, but I am just not confident at this moment in time about that game. I gotta be honest.
Wait, so do you guys think? Because if you're telling me that, I mean, okay, the question could it be that, and you guys tell me, could it be simply that mentally you guys just aren't ready? It could be because of the
Absolutely.
coach you have, the manager you have, but it's just the fact that you're just when you're in these positions, and it can actually happen, bro. Like psychologically, this happens to people, right? Where it's just too much,
Yeah.
and then you fumble it, right? That's why the term is there. You fumble the bag, right? You fumble whatever it is that and that's just what it is. At the end of the day, no matter how we slice it, right? Yakure, Zubimendi, you see what I'm saying? It's just now that the pressure is there, that the players just are not psychologically ready to get over the line.
But
And
that's what I was trying to tell you too, right? When you're saying like, oh, from the optimistic side, oh, you still have the best two CBs in the world and these things and oh, all the things that got you to this point. Yeah, that's all well and good, right? But when crunch time comes around, like you said, this changes. We're human beings, right? Psychologically, you're like, shit. As I've just said, the boys can say, hey, we've gone somewhere, we can do something that we've never done before for this club. But that also, whilst that sounds exciting, it also heaps a whole lot of pressure on a group of players, right? When you have literally you're carrying the weight of expectation from fans, from rivals, from pundits. So like you said, uncharacteristic mistakes creep in and nerves and fear creep in,
right,
So it's like with those center backs that we have that may be the best in the world, or Declan Rice, who may be an unbelievable midfielder, or who all these other players that have contributed to getting us to this point. Once April hits and Arteta's statistics in April are horrible. Like that's traditionally when we crumble under Arteta is April. That's when things
yeah,
go downhill.
I've heard,
You know what I mean? So what does that say? These are all psychological things that you just forget. You just forget how to be a good player or a good manager or a good coach. You know what I mean? It's just psychology just and confidence just, takes over when it comes to the crunch time, right? When it comes to the heat.
Mm.
Well, the boys have a chance to move forward because the planning for our next game against Sporting at home, second leg, is in a few days. They're probably gonna have a few, maybe one training session, maybe two training sessions, and I can definitely picture that some of the videos that are going to come out is going to be a lot of light-hearted stuff. Um, but this, again, CJ, you've said it several times. Every game is a cup final for us, and it's been a cup final for us ever since we lost that first cup final, the Carabao Cup. Um, but there's even more pressure now on this game, even more pressure. And I don't know, CJ, if you heard the post-match conference from Arteta, like Timber and Saka don't appear to be on their way back at all right now, and that's worrying. And I hope it's Arteta playing decoy.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but I really would not be shocked if Saka and Timber are out for the Sporting game and the City game.
Wait, is it like how bad were the injuries?
It's muscular. I don't know.
We're not even certain what the injury is with Saka. Um, we don't have too much clarity on that at the moment. With Timber, we know it's muscular, yeah.
Um, The only bright side is we have a one goal lead in the leg against Sporting. Sporting did beat us in the past Europa League at home. It- I mean, we dude, what do we even discuss in this game, man? Do we rotate? Do we not rotate? Do we play the same team to give them an opportunity to right their wrongs? Do
I
we?
I do think you're gonna need to bring out a strong enough team. Like obviously you have to factor in the City game, but
Because they're not playing midweek. They're gonna have a full week's rest.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Like they're gonna be up for the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
yep. And I can tell you right now, man, they have that experience of bringing out that dog in them to come
Yeah.
back, right? So, um, yeah, I'd be anything but surprised if they didn't show up. So,
CJ, what's your gut saying for this game?
The problem is, I think you know what, Laurent makes a really good point in the sense that I've always said like, when people say, "Oh, would you prefer the Premier League or the Champions League?" I've always been a kind of the opinion that, whilst a lot of our fans say they want the Premier League because, we haven't won it in 20 plus years, but again, I keep saying, well, we haven't won the Champions League ever. So why would you not want the Champions League over the Prem? But in the circumstance that we're in right now, and to Laurent's very point, is we can go on and win the Champions League, but if we fail in the Premier League, even if you win the Champions League, you don't even know, like from Arteta's standpoint, like you don't even know if you can recover from that, from another failed Premier League campaign because of the long marathon that is the Premier League, and being this close again in the Premier League and then falling at the final hurdle. How do you try and go another Premier League campaign and try and win another Prem under that same manager? You know what I mean? You have to go for different ideas. Either the manager has to step down, or they fire him or sack him. This group of players, I don't think they would need a new voice. You know what I mean? You can't go a whole other Premier League campaign trying to win a Premier League under the same manager who's failed four attempts in a row and bottling it at the final hurdle. Like that psychologically, we just talked about psychological blows. That will kill a team. So even if we were to win a cup, and in this case, Champions League is the biggest cup of them all. Even if you were to win a cup, like that's still, is that enough to save him and to if you were to fail at this stage again in the Premier League? So all that being said, you kind of do have to think like, I think my priority has also shifted that for the sake of the club and for those players and for the manager, I think they need to prioritize the Premier League and win the Premier League. You know what I mean? And get over that hurdle That doesn't mean
Hmm.
to me that you put out, a fully rotated side against Sporting, like the rotated side that we saw against Southampton in the FA Cup. You definitely don't do that. So that's where the catch 22 is. That's where it's a problem for me. It's because again, we know City, bro, they're that full week of rest, right? They're just waiting now for that game on Sunday. Full week of rest, refreshed mentally and physically themselves, no Champions League midweek. They're going to be looking at that midweek game for us and think, God, these guys are just exhausting more energy. Again, these Arsenal boys, we already don't have rotation enough as it is, We're going to play Rice and Zubimendi. So they're going to have to play 90 minutes against Sporting and then play 90 minutes again at the Etihad and midfield.
And
Like, you know what I mean?
it could be even more than 90 minutes, depending on
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And we're playing Wednesday too. We're not even playing Tuesday. We're playing
Exactly.
Wednesday.
So that's one extra day, one less day of rest.
Only bright side is that we're not traveling, right? Like we're at home.
Yeah.
That's the only bright side. And um, I know you're gonna do your pre-match preview once Arteta does his presser, but I think like this game is pivotal. The response from the players in this game will be telling. I know you said put you down as City for that game. I like you can Laurent, you can hold us to it. For me, I'm putting a draw. I don't think we lose that game. I can't see us
Hope not,
winning the
man.
game.
Hope not.
I can't see us winning the City game, but I can definitely see us getting point there.
I'd freaking take that now. If you ask me for a point now, don't play the game, and you offer me a point, I'll take that right now. I'll bite your hand off for that. But yeah, listen, like, with the Sporting game again, I think we need players back. With the Odegaards, the Sakas, the Timbers, the Calafiores who've been out, we're gonna need some of those back because we can't keep playing the same team going into the Etihad. And whilst I said it looks like just for the psychology and the mental of the players and the manager, like they need to focus on winning this Premier League. I don't get it twisted. I don't want to throw away this Champions League either. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to go all out to try and win. I mean, with Sporting at home, again, with all due respect to them, you have to win that. You have to get through that tie. You know what I mean? So we need to put out a team that it's going to be good enough that he thinks is going to be good enough to win the game. And yeah, like you said, I will obviously do the preview. We're gonna have to wait for Arteta's press conference to see who's available. But the expectation in this game is still a win, boys. You know what I mean? Like we still have to
Mhm.
to, to beat Sporting.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Uh oh,
if
sorry.
yeah, just a quick question. So obviously, right, you guys are in the commanding position in that tie. The win, right? What some would say is the expected result, right? For more so than not, right? For Arsenal. Now, if that isn't the case, let's say you guys do fall to Sporting, could that have an impact
Oh,
going into the City game?
1
110%, bro.
1,000%.
Hmm.
Yo,
Now,
we'd be
that
cooking.
prediction that you had about a draw, does that change?
No,
You still think that going
because
into
I would back my team, and that like call me foolish, call me a hopeless optimist. I would still back the boys.
mm,
Like in our prediction series, I've already put Arsenal down to win the game. Call me stupid, whatever, but I still want to back. I still want to try to give them the false confidence. I still want to give them like the reason why we're doing this pod. The reason why I have all this Arsenal paraphernalia is because my love for the club. And part of my love for the club is that I really want to see them do it. One for their legacy, and two because I know the joy that it's going to bring. Right. But to answer your question simply, yeah, if we lose and we go out to Sporting again, and with the context of what's been happening the last 3-4 games, Arteta's gonna have to wear a Kevlar jacket going into that presser. I don't know, CJ, do you agree?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long week, man. Like we're already getting cooked right now as it is in the media and by those online, the social media people and the fans and whatever. Like everyone's just kind of waiting for us to bottle it again. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's where these players have to just, for the very least, take pride in that and just say, yo, like we got to go out and do this, bro, because we're getting fried right now, bro. Like, hibachi style. For those who had a hibachi, the Korean fried grill.
Yo,
Yeah, man.
serious question though, CJ. Just to lay in the mood a little bit. Were you wearing the beanie when we were winning, when we were losing?
When we were losing to Bournemouth,
Or, yeah.
nah, it was too early in the morning. So,
See, it's all your fucking fault. Why weren't you wearing the beanie, bro?
yo, listen, some would say that that's bad luck, bro. I just started wearing a beanie, and all of a sudden we go out losing games in the Premier League. Like, you may not see me in a beanie for the foreseeable future. Sorry to disappoint,
Well,
but
thank God we're going into summer months, and you can actually take the beanie off. Lauren, are you happy that he's not wearing the beanie today?
Oh, honestly, man, yeah. Listen, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's probably. So I assume you got your haircut, right?
yeah, a little shape up.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Well, man.
Uh, just quick mention. The rest of the quarterfinal matches. Massive game, Bayern Madrid, in Munich. Madrid looking to come back from a 2-1 deficit. They could have been 2-2 if Vinicius didn't miss his chance. But this is going to be a massive game. And to be honest with you, Munich are just a different beast. And I think going to Munich for Madrid will just be a little bit too much. Um, Liverpool,
Hmm.
Liverpool. I think for Laurent's sake, he's hoping that Liverpool choke and they lose like 8-0. Um,
Why would I hope that?
just to overshadow the Chelsea spanking, like you said last pod.
Nah, man. At this point, bro, like, what they're down 2-0 or 3.
Two.
Two.
Yeah, no, listen, man. Especially given our Champions League hopes, um, I'd want Liverpool to win the Champions League. Is it increases our chances of being in Champions League
You're
next season.
shameless, bro. You are shameless.
Hey, man.
And then the what eighth or ninth matchup this year, Atleti Barca at the Metropolitano. That is gonna be like I kind of wish they staggered the games a little bit because I want to be able to watch
Yeah.
both games. Um, that is going to be a game.
Do you think they do it?
Barca?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so either, actually.
I already have it predicted as Atletico.
Really? It's only
Yeah.
two, no?
It
Two
is
nil,
two
but
now.
going back to the Metropolitano, and the last time that they
Yeah,
played at the Metropolitano, Barcelona won 2-1.
yeah, but I swear the last time they were in this position in the cup, in the Spanish Cup, they beat them. Oh no, but I think it was at Camp.
Camp
Camp Nou.
Nou.
Yeah, yeah, actually.
And again, Simeone is a beast.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
not.
thing. He
He's
knows how
not
to set them
gonna.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna set his team up to frustrate the fuck out of Barcelona and take a piss out of the game.
Mm. You think he's gonna shake the coach's head after the game?
He's gonna walk up to him and just stick his hand out there and be like, "Yo, hello, hello."
All right, all right.
Yeah. Um, coming to the prediction leaderboard, Laurent, you got competition, eh?
Yeah, so it seems. I'm noticing someone's creeping up.
The bottle job is happening for you.
Oh.
Bottling Champions League spots, bottling the game against City, and now bottling the lead that you got for yourself. You
Hmm.
know,
I mean, some say I'm not meant to be in this position.
the mentality isn't
Yeah.
there. See, if you were
I
wearing a beanie,
was gonna
the
say.
men-
That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. I gotta wear
Or bring back the blanket too, That seemed to have helped you out throughout the season. So
the
yeah,
blanket. All right,
yeah.
all right. You know what? How about a blanket and a beanie, both at the same time? Yeah.
That's like a luck overload. It's
Yeah.
gonna fucking explode. But yeah, Laurent's on 83 points, CJ's on 82, and I'm trailing on 78 points. Um, Kicking it off with Arsenal Sporting. I'm backing Arsenal. I hope at least
Hmm.
they come out and they take care of business. And I'm praying that it's done within 90
Mhm.
and that we don't go into extra time. And the second thing I'm praying is that no new injuries.
Mm. See, I feel like I listen again for me as well, right? Because personally, I don't like to see players getting injured, but it's usually in these kind of games, man. It's usually in these kind of games because that's the games where the opposite team or the opposing team, sorry, is going to put in those rough challenges, right? Because they're doing everything they can to win, right? So definitely when the players are out there, they're gonna have to also right make sure to protect themselves as
Mm-hmm.
well, right? Going to these challenges, but yeah, man, I'd be nervy if I was a fan. Definitely be nervy in these kind of games because that's when the intensity is just all the way up.
So you got a Sporting win, a draw,
No, I'm gonna go Arsenal.
CJ?
Yeah, I think we'll bounce back. I think we'll win the game as well.
Um, Atletico Barcelona. I got Atleti. I think they're just gonna be too much for Barcelona.
Hmm. I think or are you gonna say something, bro?
No, I'm gonna say Atletico for me as well.
Really, eh? I think Barca win the game, but I still think they lose the tie, if that makes sense. I think Atletico will go through, but I think Barcelona will win the game. That's
Like
my
a
thing.
like a 2-1, but a 3-2 on aggregate type deal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, probably one of the juicier of the matchups, Bayern Real Madrid. 2-1 lead for Bayern. I think Bayern win the game and they just put it to bed.
Yeah, I agree. Man, this Bayern side is bro. Apparently, they
It's
even have over 100 goals now in their Farmers League, which is a record. Um, and then Olise apparently is on par to beating Messi's record. I
Mm-hmm.
think has been added
yeah.
onto it too.
3 assists away.
Yeah, yeah, but that listen to me, that's a team again, right? Because I don't know too if it's their manager, but they just seem so relaxed, bro. And then even on the offense, right, just relax, like right. They trust their players' quality enough to take control in those situations. So yeah, man, if they go out and win, I think they're the team that deserves it, right? Because they have the second best record to you guys in the group stage, and then their performances ever since, right? They've been just consistent throughout. So
See, this is a conversation for another day for me, but you mentioned the manager there, maybe some impact that he may have on it. Again, we'll talk about this another time, but I'm not sure. The jury's still out for me whether Vincent Kompany is actually a good manager or not. You know what I mean? Like at that level, like at the, elite manager level. I mean, he's managing a Bayern Munich team, again, with all due respect. You're first of all, you're in the Bundesliga and you have all that talent. Yes, obviously you're doing it in the Champions League as well, but how good of a manager is he really? You know what I mean? When you have that Bayern team and you're
mm,
playing in that league and you have those talented players. Yes, you have to manage the players still, but anyways, that's another conversation for another day. I think they're just more of a great team than it is down to his, amazing
mm,
management. But
Mm.
um but anyways, interesting food for thought there. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I think Bayern will beat Real Madrid as well. It's so funny, bro. Real Madrid kills me. Like similar to what they did last year against us, when they have their whole talk of remontada and they make it a whole like movie, like feature film about, the story of the remontada. They're already all talking about it again going into this game. But I don't see them overturning this one either.
If it was going back to Spain, completely different story. But I think it's too much. I think it's too much to ask for Madrid to win in Munich.
How did they do this weekend even in La Liga, Real
they
Madrid?
they tied 1-1.
Oh
I
yeah?
think versus Elche. I can't even remember.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, they drew against Girona.
Oh, it was Girona. Okay.
Yeah, and everyone played too.
Wow.
Yeah, Bellingham, Camavinga, Valverde, Brahim Diaz, Mbappe, Vinicius, Militao, Carvajal, Asensio, Fran Garcia. They're full strength.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, cause
Wow, they're
sorry,
9 points behind Barca in the league. Oh my god.
yeah, this is for them, this is not a good season at all, especially with where they stand in the Champions League. But bro, even that first game, man, like Real Madrid had fewer clear chances, and I feel like, bro, that comes down to how the manager sets you up, man. If you're not even because again, you're talking talent, bro. Real Madrid is a talented side, and they look neutralized up to a certain point, right? So I feel like I don't know, man. Yeah, debate for another day for sure. But yeah, I think there's a bit more, man, in terms of how the manager is setting him up.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, the only thing I can say is, at least from my part, I apologize for having being a little bit of a Debbie Downer in this pod. It's just it's happening again, and I don't know how many more times I can take it to know that we've had all these opportunities and we keep throwing it away. CJ, I don't know where you stand on that, but the one thing that I can definitely appreciate is um, all our viewers, all our listeners joining in on the therapy session. Um, don't let the haters and the other clubs like you know our little brothers on the west, um, our adopted child who's about to get relegated and go into the championship. Um, all these little clubs, that other club in the north that's barely played any games this year again are they're playing on a Monday night. Like, don't let these small folk
uh,
bother you.
that's crazy. Big brother asking little brother for favors, huh?
And Big Brother, yeah,
Ask you asking for asking me for $5. Big brother asking little brother for $5. I should be asking
man.
you. You know what I mean? I should be the role should be reversed.
Listen, man. Listen,
What?
man. It's
I'm not gonna lie, bro. A part of me actually feels for you guys, bro. Cause fuck,
Stop saying this, Tom. Stop
nah,
saying
man.
that.
you
I'm
don't
not.
care.
I'm not
You're
gonna lie.
literally bipolar. You call
Yeah,
me
listen, listen,
bipolar. You are
I
bipolar.
swear.
listen. I will say I'm calibrated to how much shit I take from when I think when I said that it was before Irfan came on, right? The African Gooner. When he came on that podcast, bro, I swear my calibration just went like a compass, bro. It just dialed all the way down, bro. North became south, south became north, bro. But despite all of that, bro, because I can only imagine what it would be like to be in a position like that, right? Where um like you come so close. And to be honest, bro, like even when at the York days, right, that we were competing for the intramural, something like that for a while, right, where you come close and you don't get it, right? So you can understand what it's like. So that's what I'm saying. Like like truthfully, like yeah, man, banter aside, shit, like it's almost like this can't happen again. You see what I'm saying? But it's the fact that you guys are actually like that's what actually surprises me is you
It's
guys are in the
happening
hot
again.
seat and you guys are, bro, like I'm seeing accounts like pro Arsenal accounts that are going nuts, absolutely nuts. They're now like because I'm pretty sure you've seen it. If you're watching the game live today, bro, there's a guy, a city guy.
Yes,
Drinking the
bro.
They caught
Arsenal
him live.
bottle.
Yes, bro. Yes. Oh my gosh, yo, that to me was like, damn, bro. Damn,
Yo,
it's got to
I
that
do
point.
gotta say though, that is epic. Like, I
Yo,
hated it,
And
but
and and listen, that's viral, bro. So that that's gonna
yeah,
get to the players
bro.
and the manager if it hasn't already. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like
bro.
if
And
you guys
that's
need any more incentive as players as a club, like,
right, right,
you know,
a
right.
nice kick about a nice kick with the boys. That's what I want to see.
You know what I want to see if we go on to win this league is somebody come out like a Declan Rice on some, Michael Jordan documentary type shit and talk about that moment and say, I saw that, the man drinking out of the water bottle, and I
And
took
I
it
took it
personal.
personally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
holy.
man.
But but listen, viewers, listeners, thank you again. Um, we hope the next pod when we jump on, it's we're a little bit lighter mood, we're a little bit happier. But please hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the bell. Most importantly, hit that bell because when the new videos come out, whether you're driving to work, whether you're sitting at your desk, whether you're cooking dinner, just put the pod on. It's an hour, enough time for you to do whatever you need to do, and you gain some therapy at the same time. And I know I speak for CJ and Laurent. We're here. We're dedicated, and we just want to bring out more content, improving day to day, and um, want to interact with you. We want to hear you out, and hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. Anything else that I missed, boys?
No, man. From my end, again, I don't think you're being too negative. Not at all. I mean, shit, I'm already the one that predicted us to lose against City, foreshadowing. But I think it's just a fear of, being let down by your club again. For I think it was a game at the Etihad, not the Etihad, sorry, again Wembley a couple of weeks ago where I predicted Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup final, and then just coming back to reality when that final whistle blows and you're like, shit, here we go again. You just get to that point where you find that history repeats itself, and it's okay. This is what we're here for. I enjoyed this pod. It was a good therapy session for us. We're talking our truths. For you, Murdoch, to get to the point of saying Arteta out and all that stuff. It's like, maybe this is why the likes of Laurent feel bad because it's like, bro, you don't want to see this. Like, this is sad stuff. You get to the point where it's no longer naivety and you're just telling the truth about how you feel now. Like, you can't go through this again 4 years in a row of a failed title race. You got to be honest, and sometimes you got to let him go. Arteta, if you like the guy, you're a truther, but hey, man, if it's your time, it's your time. And we're just telling our truth here, people. We're being honest on the pod about our feelings at the moment. It's a little bit of a difficult time. Um, but yeah, man. So it's okay to be a little bit honest, even if the truth hurts. But we got to be positive now, and we got to try and look for solutions, right? Because every problem's got solutions. So let's hope that it still ends in a positive light for us. But as Murdoch says, people, we're here win, lose or draw. We still have to face up to the camera and talk about it and be here with you guys, and we all go through it together. So whether you're an Arsenal supporter and you treated this as therapy, or you're a rival fan and you enjoyed hearing us, cry our sorrows away on this pod. We're here putting it out for you guys nonetheless. So yeah, that's it from me. But yeah, stay locked in and continue to like and subscribe, and we'll be here all throughout.
All right, Mr. Piana, send us off.
All right. Well, in unity we march, and we march. And yeah, man, I think like I said, some of us do hope for the best in this club. Um, and yeah, they're the only ones representing us with Liverpool in the CL. So best of them in that game coming up. And other than that, make sure to like and subscribe and to check in next time for your therapy session. Hopefully, it's a different type of therapy, right? A more upbeat. But nonetheless, make sure to not miss that appointment because we'll be back. And with that, adios.
Adios.